get your thoughts on this news coming out or reports suggesting that Amazon is looking to accept Bitcoin. The bigger story here is, this is following a trend of JP Morgan, Visa, PayPal, Square. Robert, are we one step closer to full adoption here?
Always remember, the bull goes up the stairs, the bear comes out the window. Now, why that's important is this, okay? I have never seen an economy like this, and I never thought it would get this bad. In 2008, the deficit was 1.4 trillion. 2020 is now 5 trillion. What happened? I mean, how can we keep floating like that? Would be like you all of a sudden say, well, I'm now 5 trillion in debt. So when you say the bull goes up the stairs and the bear goes out the window, they're pumping all of this fake money into the system, Biden and his buddies. And the reason I say that the bull goes up the stairs is everybody's happy. So please hear me and I don't trust the Fed, number one. They're a bunch of PhDs like my poor dad. If you trust a PhD, you need your head examined. So these guys, they've never had a job. They're not gonna, they got a government pension for life. They're not counting on their retirement. They're a bunch of criminals as far as I'm concerned. But they're PhDs, and you don't say anything bad about PhDs. That's like condemning the Virgin Mary or something. So what happens when the bull is going up the market? Everybody's happy. Everybody's excited. So these bullshit stories come out. Everybody's happy when the bull is going up the stairs. Being an old guy, when the bear goes out the window, people will get depressed. And that's my third level, how many lessons I've given so far. But just remember, when the bull stops, when the BS stops going up the stairs, FOMO, fear of missing out, and all this, people are euphoric right now. That Robinhood. Their IPO is worth 40 billion. All these millennials are now stock traders, options traders. They don't know anything. They're young people, and that's the way it should be. There's some of them will rise to the surface, most will get wiped out. So the last thing is this: when the bear comes out the window, people get depressed, and that's when the depression starts. So you had records on and all this, we're calling for a depression. So just hear me. So I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm just, Records and I are just old guys. Well, the good thing about being old guys like Jim Records and I, we've heard every BS story, the bull's going up the stairs. And always remember this, people are ecstatic. Even if you don't have money, there's something about a bull market that makes people happy. But when the bear goes out the window, people get depressed. And that's when the depression starts. So my lesson as an old guy is this, Amazon is this, Bitcoin may do this and all that. When people are happy, they're gullible. Let me explain why. In the 1950s, when I was a kid, the only people that were in the stock market were gamblers. Back in the 1950s, people didn't live that long anyway. We didn't have these things called 401ks and all this. So I'll say it again, in the 50s, only gamblers were in the stock market. So if you said, oh, I made some money in the stock market, everybody says, oh, the guy's a gambler or a drug dealer or something. It was just not cool.
Before we continue, help us by smashing that YouTube like button and subscribe now to this channel. This shows the algorithm that you value the information, and it helps us spread this message. Sharing is caring. Please like and subscribe now. Thank you. And now let's continue.
But as some of you know, in 1971, the dollar came off the gold standard, but something else happened in the 70s. This is 1974. The 401k was started. And I call 401k the butt of the dog. It's where all the garbage comes out of. And I'm not saying, please hear me, I'm not saying don't have a 401k, but I wouldn't touch one. I don't touch used toilet paper. I don't like 401ks. Now you should. Now please I don't get me wrong, but the reason there's a Rich Dad Company is I'm going to give you a couple of alternatives to your 401k, but you have to study. So I'll say it again, repeat it. In the 50s, nobody was in the stock market. Then what happened in they were in the bond market generally. If anybody was in anything, my mom and dad had their heads up their butts. They had no idea what was going on. And my rich dad was telling me to be an entrepreneur. He started businesses. So I had this kind of a cross education process going on. So in 74, the 401k comes out, and then all of a sudden everybody's getting forced into the stock market. And so you have 1971, Nixon takes $1 off the gold standard, and then 74, they push all the rookies into the stock market. And so in 2021, all the millennials and all the hodlers and the gamblers and all this stuff, they're jumping onto the Robinhood app and GameStop and all this. I'm going, well, I guess that's what happens. But I wouldn't touch any of that stuff. I have taken 3 companies public. I kind of know what goes on inside the market. As we had a discussion with our company the other day, because we do our best to educate everybody who works with Rich Dad. Long before a company goes through an IPO, initial public offering, the money's already been made. So people are hanging around hoping to get into the Robinhood IPO. Well, the rich have already exited. They've already made their money. So that's why back in the 90s, I started studying the stock market by actually taking 3 companies public. So the first 3 companies I started, we went public on the Toronto Stock Exchange, but the first round investors came in at a penny. The facts are, when QE3 came out in 2008, they were pumping 80 billion a month into the economy, a month. Today, they're printing 120 billion. So the bull is going up the stairs. We have a bubble like we have never seen before. There's always going to be a new phoenix rising. Look at what happened with Amazon. They rose out of the ashes of the dot-com bust. So what's going to happen is when this whole, if and when, I'm not saying it is, but if this whole thing crashes down, you're going to look for the next phoenix. You know, who's going to come out of these ashes? Now, I wish I had bought Amazon back then. I wouldn't touch Amazon today.
What to do in such a situation? Inform yourself and keep your financial education strong. We from the Compact Group offer our loyal subscribers a free educational portal with first-hand monetary, financial, and economic knowledge. Enter our invite-only Insider Club by clicking the link below. You will get access to first-class information far earlier than the rest. We have prepared a special deal for all our members where you can access a giant pool of Robert Kiyosaki's financial wisdom for just $1. To find out more, simply click the link below and join our Insider Club absolutely free. But there is more you can and should do. Build up several streams of income. More and more people realize that they have to take their future in their own hands, but they don't know how and where to start. We from Compact offer our Insider Club members unique opportunities. Strengthen your financial muscle and get the edge. Click the link below. Become part of our free Insider Club. No financial obligations. But there's one important thing you have to know. You have to become active. So do it now. Become active and see you on the other side.